From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
Morning, love.
Because I'm just so tired.
The COVID-19 pandemic has exposed the great divide in society between the haves and the have-nots. We can't allow establishment politicians to make working class people pay the bill when billionaires across the world saw their wealth rise by 32% last year.
The way Boris Johnson's Tory government's handled the pandemic proves that they prioritise the interests of big business and their super-rich friends over everyone else.
But where is the opposition from Starmer, Welsh Labour or the SNP?
It's clear we need a force to represent the millions, not the millionaires.
The Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, or TUSC, does what it says on the tin. It's a coalition of those willing to build an anti-austerity opposition at the ballot box.
Our candidates are those who've been on the front line during the pandemic.
Fighting for COVID safety on public transport.
Organising collective action of school staff to stop the unsafe full reopening of schools in January.
Fighting for trade union action for a 15% pay rise for healthcare workers.
Protesting against racist police brutality as part of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Fighting cuts to domestic violence services and defending the right to protest.
When Jeremy Corbyn was Labour leader, he represented a threat to the capitalist elite because of the mass support for his anti-austerity policies.
If they chose to, local councils and mayoral authorities could improve the lives of millions of people and carry out whole parts of Corbyn's manifesto right now.
They could bring privatised services back under public ownership and control.
Reopen libraries, Sure Start centres and youth clubs.
Ensure above inflation pay rises for all local authority workers.
Ensure that all 2-, 3 and 4-year-olds are entitled to 30 hours of free preschool education each week.
Start a mass programme of high quality, environmentally friendly council housing.
And devolved governments in Wales and Scotland could do all this and more, including awarding a 15% pay rise to NHS workers.
For 10 years, the Tories and Blairites maintained the myth that cuts and austerity were necessary. But when the profits of big business were threatened by the pandemic, they showed that they're willing to spend untold billions to protect their rich friends.
This government is weak and divided.
Elected anti-austerity politicians outside of Parliament, standing up for working class people, choosing to use their existing powers to build council homes and resist austerity would win mass support, enough to force a U-turn and win the funding our communities need.
I was a parliamentary candidate for Labour in 2017 and 2019 when Jeremy Corbyn was leader, but I can no longer support the Labour Party under its current leadership. Starmer has ended any chance of Labour being a voice for ordinary people, and I am not willing to sacrifice my values and principles to try and fit in with the neoliberal establishment.
We need a new mass party to give a political voice to workers in struggle and make sure that we aren't made to pay for the crisis.
TUSC is a step towards creating that.
TUSC stands for a democratic socialist society to rationally plan our wealthy country in the interest of the millions, not the millionaires. That means putting the major companies and banks that dominate the economy into democratic public ownership. Production and services could then be planned to meet the needs of all while protecting the environment.
So, if you want to make sure it's the rich, not the working class, who pay for this crisis.
If you support Corbyn's policy and you want to create a mass party for the working class people.
If you are a trade unionist or a campaigner fighting to defend jobs and services in your area,
then vote for TUSC and help take the fight back to the ballot box.